This is part 5 of my recap of Vermel in Gold. You can find a link for the full playlist in the description below. At the end of the last episode, Alto gets ready to take the final exam while the nefarious Iolite takes the spot of another student and sneaks into the exam. Vermel waits outside bored as she overhears how hard the test will be, but is confident that Alto will do well, knowing how hard he studies. Alto starts going through the test, but becomes distracted when he notices that Iolite has fallen asleep. Alto tries to ignore it and focus on the test. He sees that the questions are harder than in previous years. Iolite eventually wakes up and Alto worries that there is not enough time for him to finish. However, Iolite takes a look at the test and writes super fast, finishing the test in seconds. He looks over at Alto, mocking him for being slow. They get reprimanded for talking, but Iolite doesn't care, saying that no one will be passing. Suddenly, a guard rushes in, reporting the body of the student that Iolite had killed. They realize that Iolite is not a real student. There is an explosion as Iolite summons an enormous stone golem. He says that he took the test for fun and reveals he is after Alto. The professor tries to fight, but gets crushed by the golem. Alto realizes that Iolite was the one working with Obsidian. The previous examiner bursts in and saves the professor. Vermel jumps through the window, attacking with her demonic magic, but it gets blocked by the golem. The examiner recognizes Iolite as the youngest mage to ever become platinum ranked, calling him a prodigy that outclasses every other mage. Lilia gets dragged out to evacuate, but when she tries to get back in for Alto, they find that the building is protected by warp magic that Helio casts to prevent them from interfering. Iolite summons a staff and alters his golem, giving it a number of cannons. Alto tries to attack, but the golem withstands all their attacks and blasts them all away. The building is destroyed, and Vermel gets grabbed. Alto becomes enraged, and his golden mana begins to glow around him. He unleashes a tremendous attack, destroying the golem. Alto's power continues to swell as he becomes a Super Saiyan, swearing to protect Vermel at all costs. Iolite becomes excited and summons more golems, but Alto easily takes them out, surprising Iolite. He powers up and lunges at Iolite, but ends up getting impaled by Iolite's knight. Alto asks what he wants with Vermel, and Iolite reveals his plans to use her demonic power to destroy the world. Alto breaks free, reaching for Iolite, but gets thrown to the ground. There's an explosion of energy as Vermel transforms to her demonic form to face Iolite, but she gets chained up by his magic. With this magic, he is able to seal her powers, reverting her to her human form. Alto keeps getting back up, so Iolite decides to just finish him off, getting his knight to fire a blast of energy. However, the attack is blocked, as the book Vermel was once sealed and floats up and opens. The woman Alto saw in his dream appears. She says she is the memory of the mage of the beginning, the one who sealed Vermel. Iolite tries to attack, but she freezes time and sends Alto into Vermel's memories. He finds himself 550 years in the past and sees a child version of Vermel happily playing. The mage of the beginning explains Vermel was raised by a nun alongside some other orphans. They lived together like a family, and Vermel was happy. They knew she was a demon but did not care. One day, the townspeople learn that Vermel is a demon and blame her for a plague affecting the country, so they formed an angry mob and laid siege to the church. Her sister tells her to escape, and she almost makes it out of town, but she overhears the people saying they would kill her family. She runs back, but it's too late, and she finds that her family has all been hanged. She is devastated and the mob surrounds her. She loses her temper and goes into her demonic form for the first time, and ends up killing everyone and burning the town to the ground, leaving only a gigantic crater. Alto is appalled by what he had witnessed. The mage says this was her crime and the reason why she was sealed. Alto finds he can interact with Vermel and comforts her. She transforms into her adult self and cries that her crime can never be undone, but Alto tells her that he doesn't care and will always stay by her side. They kiss, and her chains are broken as they wake up in the real world, and he declares that he loves her. Vermel is freed from Iolite's binding magic. He's surprised she broke free from his mythical great item. Iolite summons another golem, combining it together with his knight. He says that Vermel's only purpose is to destroy the world. but Alto tells him to shut up, saying he doesn't know the real Vermel. He combines his power with Vermel and launches his crystal attack. It collides with the golem's attack, overpowering it and destroys the golem. Surprised at their strength, Iolite becomes more serious. He prepares his magic, but is stopped when Helio appears from a portal, saying she can't maintain the space warp for much longer. Iolite is disappointed, but has no choice but to leave. He tells Alto he will be back one day to finish what he started and escapes through the portal. The Mage of the Beginning appears again, surprising Alto. She calls Vermel a dear friend and urges Alto to care for her. She says farewell and repairs the building before disappearing. Lilia rushes in to Alto, glad he is okay. Later, Alto trains to become stronger so he can protect Vermel. He practices fencing with Jessica and martial arts with Chris. He loses to them both, but aims to improve. At night, Vermel thanks Alto for accepting her and tells him that she loves him too. Alto is happy, and they embrace. In a student council meeting, Elena says that after the recent incidents, they must protect the students and work together to stop any attacks. Despite knowing that they're up against Platinum Mages, they all agree. Lilia, Marks, and Cheryl receive their test results and celebrate that they all passed. But when Alto doesn't show up, Lilia jealously suspects he is doing something with Vermel. The two are fooling around in the open with their love for one another and their determination to protect each other. But that's where this story ends. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.